We are at war. This is war. Yes, we are at war. This is war between good and evil. One of the speakers said that earlier. I think that Del Bigtree said that. This is really a war between good and evil. Kevin Jenkins is here. I think he said it. But right now, it is my honor and privilege in the middle of this chaos to announce and introduce one of our best friends here in this movement, Mikki Willis of Plandemic. Plandemic is one of the most censored, if not the most censored film of all times. Now, we have censored films with the truth about cancer and the truth about vaccines. We've been wiped off of every social media platform. We have been so censored that our case is on the president's desk. Mikki Willis, his film has been seen worldwide by 1 billion people. And I have to tell you, I had the privilege of talking to Donald J. Trump on the phone. And we mentioned Plandemic, and the president said he watched it. So with no further ado, it is my pleasure to introduce to you Mikki Willis.
Thank you, Charlene. Woo! How is everybody doing? Great. Cold bodies, warm hearts. I'm a little out of breath because I was just part of this situation that just happened where, as Charlene mentioned, our proud patriots just pushed through a line of riot police, peacefully as that could happen, and are now at the stairs at the doors of the Capitol. And it was a beautiful thing to see. Beautiful thing to see, finally, the human organism step up and rise up and understand that this is a far beyond a partisan issue. And that's what I came here to speak to you about today. And we are born free and we will die free. And so I come to you today with just the deepest request that we start to rethink all the programming that we have all endured, all of the programming that we've endured, because we're all victims of it to some degree. Every billboard, every commercial, every message that we've been inundated with since we were old enough to pay attention has conditioned us to see each other as other. And right now we have, and I'm speaking to you from experience, because one of the reasons that they come after me so hard is because I was part of the far left. I was an activist, I was on the front line, I traveled with Democratic presidential candidates, and I saw behind the curtain they made a big mistake when they invited me behind the curtain. Because now I'm reporting what I saw. And I will never stop doing that. And so it's time for all of us to understand that those very few, we call them elite, but there's nothing elite about them. They're very few, they have power, they have wealth, but they don't have what we have. They don't have the numbers, they don't have the spirit, they don't have the connection with the Creator and with each other and with life itself. They have somehow been completely severed from that. And that is what allows them to make the moves that they make against the very organism that sustains their life. And so I am here to untangle this mic.
All right, Mikki.
And untangle a few other things too. So consider this. This is nothing new. We are just the generation that's experiencing this moment at this particular place of time and space. This has been going on since the cradle of civilization. Ask yourself how, in the very beginning of anything civilized, how did those very small elite royal families overpower thousands of behemoth powerful slaves to do all the heavy lifting, to build those behemoth structures that they had back then? How do they do that? Without the weaponry, without the prisons, without the ability to hold them, without the technologies to survey them that we have now. How did those little, out of shape, gluttonous royal families manage to control thousands of slaves to do all their dirty work? How did they do that? Fear is a great answer. That's right. Psychologically. So as Charlene said, we are in war. This is psychological warfare. This is what war looks like today. And so there's been for so many decades, for so long, that we have endured this psychological warfare. And back then, they used all kinds of mythologies to keep the people in fear. They convinced the slaves that they were anointed by God, that they had the direct channel to God, and if the slaves ever at all defied them or resisted them in any way, that God would tell them. And they would sometimes pose public tortures where they would show the other slaves, this is what happens when you disobey us. Very similar to what's going on right now, public displays of tyranny. And so this is nothing new, but this is getting old, really old. And we have the power and the ability and the technologies to overcome this for the first time in human history, and that's what we're here for today, to overcome this. Are you with me?
Yes! Woo! Yes, me!
So I want to thank, I'm looking in the cameras right now, whoever this reaches out there, I want to thank, above all, mainstream media. Thank you, mainstream media. As a media veteran of 33 years, I know your game. I've been there. I've been in the boardrooms with you. I understand the pressure that's put on you as a journalist, as a producer, as a media producer. I understand the great deal of work that is done to keep you, yourself, enslaved by the system such that you have to literally sell your soul to do the work that you're doing now. But we thank you, mainstream media, because all of your incessant efforts to divide us have backfired. And you've united us. Because of you and your unprecedented censorship on my movies, they have been seen by more than 1 billion people now, breaking all-time records.
Yes.
So I highly recommend that you start to consider a new tactic, mainstream media. The one you're using right now has failed. And it's failed in yourself. When you go home and you look in the mirror, look deep into those eyes of yours. And ask yourself, is this my dream? Is this what I woke up to one day and decided I want to be on this side of this diabolical, wicked agenda to enslave my human family? Is that what you got into media for? When you were a child and you were inspired by the power of media and suddenly had an opportunity to tell stories, to share the truth, what happened? What happened to you? That spark, that spirit is still in you. If I can do a 180 and turn around, anyone can. So I ask you, mainstream media, and all the people, all the minions that are enslaved by your paycheck, it takes a massive sacrifice. But I can stand here on this stage today and tell you from experience that the sacrifice is worth it. What you lose cannot compare to what you gain when you stand on the right side of history and tell the truth and support the people. Please reconsider your position. Everyone in the mainstream media, stand up, rise up, rejoin your human family and fight with us. And I'd like to say, have everyone hold in prayer right now for what's happening on the Capitol here. It's historic. And there's a lot of brave people there that are risking their lives and their freedom and their health to make a statement. And the statement is, we're done. We're over it. It's enough. Enough is enough. I never imagined that, even though I have, like I said, I've been in the mainstream media for so many years, I never imagined that the game was as rigged as it is. While we all know that there's been corruption and that we're ruled by corrupt tyrants, the level to which my industry, the industry that is supposed to share with us information only to help inform us, is become so corrupt that it's time that the people become the media. So I want you to know that while we have this idea that we are the citizens and we are to follow the leaders, that must come to an end. As the Hopis say, and I've done a lot of work with indigenous cultures forever, you've heard the term before, that we are the ones we've been waiting for. And I hope that reaches your heart. I hope that reaches your heart right now. This is the moment when it must. Because there is no superhero coming to save us, unless it's in the form of our collective. Every one of us, this is the moment when we rise. And those of us out here that might feel disempowered or might be questioning your own ability to have an impact on this planet, please know that every little effort you take, every word you speak matters. And it is time for us to break our addiction to comfort. This comfort that comes with being in agreement with our tribe. This comfort that comes with being liked. It's no coincidence that our social media platforms have created a little icon of being liked, right? Because we all need to be liked. It is time that we give that up for being honest, for standing for what we believe in, for fighting for our children, for fighting for our families, for fighting for our freedom. There's nothing that they can do to stop me, and there's nothing that they can do to stop you. And I am incredibly grateful that somehow my spirit and your spirit chose this time and space to inhabit that beautiful body of yours, so that we can be the generation, God's children, that get to cross the threshold together. And that happens with our consistent courage. And so everything that you've done to be here, some of you have traveled from afar, you've gotten on planes, you've jumped in your car, and under the circumstances with the economy being so bad, I know some of you couldn't even afford it. God bless you for making that move, that courageous move. And those are the moves that we must make continuously for all of time to come, to ensure that not only is this cabal completely dissolved, but that our freedom and our futures are ensured by the strength of our minds, our hearts, and our spirit. And so thank you so much for the stand that you've taken, for everyone out here who supported my work, my buddy Mike Smith's brave work, all the filmmakers that have risen up. Mike and I have been in Hollywood for a number of years. And it's kind of a joke to me when I hear the media say that I'm doing this for fame and for fortune. Because if you understand what it takes for someone like Mike Smith, myself, and all of the other people to burn every bridge that's taken us 20, 30 years to build, and Hollywood doesn't mess around, you're either in the cult or you're out. We will never have another film on any of the major platforms again. I've already had my name removed on my next film that was supposed to be released in 2021. They want nothing to do with me now. And you know what? I'm happy about that.
Yes, yes.
I am no longer a slave to the system. I'm no longer dependent upon their little technology strategy platforms, because we have the power of the people, and it's the power of you that allowed my movies and Mike's movies to reach millions of people, millions and millions of people in multiple languages around the world. So please don't stop what you're doing. And in the name of our children, I'm a father of 2 children, 6 and 9.
Come on, Mikki, I hear you, bro.
Our children deserve to have the childhood we had.
Yes, yes, they do.
They deserve the opportunity to ride their bikes on the street. They deserve the opportunity, the freedom to not have poisons.
Love you, Mikki! Woo! Come on, brother.
We're here because we care. We're here because we have children. We're fathers. We're mothers, we're grandmothers, we're citizens of this damn planet. And we will not allow the future of our children to be robbed. It is time for us to stand up in the name of our children, in the name of our future, together, fiercely, put our lives on the line. I will not have my children's lives tormented by this incredibly wicked agenda. And we will not have your children and their children torn apart by this wicked agenda. We stand here in the name of love, in the name of God, in the name of family. God bless you.
Amen.